Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Bonita Richter, founder of Profit Strategies and BonitaRichter.com. Today, you are on my complimentary Thank You No Salesy webinar, Finding Gold Unique Cash Triggers to Create Revenue Faster. I want to express a very big welcome to you for being on this webinar with me today. I know it takes a lot of dedication to build a successful business, and I'm honored that you are here with me today. This webinar is going to focus on my top success strategies for creating cash flow in your business in 30 days or less. These are things I do that help me generate cash flow on demand, as well as tactics that I share with my clients who want to do the same in their business. As usual, I'm going to give you an action step or two to take, so get a pen and paper if you don't already have one. My intention is you leave this presentation today with something of real value so you can start forward movement toward getting more client prospects flowing into your business in 30 days or less. I will also share with you the most common mistakes entrepreneurs make when trying to generate cash and how to identify your unique cash triggers and actions you need to focus on to get more money flowing into your business faster. Most of you on the line know something about me already, so I'm not going to go into a long story about myself. If you want to find out more about me, you can visit my website, BonitaRichter.com, and click on the About Bonita tab. Just one quick announcement before we get into the content. Be sure to register for next week's complimentary Thank You No Salesy webinar. Stop focusing on getting more clients. Focus on these 5 things first to generate more revenue. What this webinar is about is so many people, when they're thinking about getting more clients, that's what's on their mind. And that's actually putting the focus on the wrong place first. So what I will cover are 5 key numbers that do determine the number of clients that you have and the dollar amount of revenue that you generate. Once you know these 5 numbers and pay attention and track and measure them, you will have better success in getting the number of clients that you would like in your business, as well as generating the amount of revenue. Another exciting piece, at least for me, that I cover is I will be talking about the key differences between charging a lower and higher fee and why your clients will pay more or less for your programs and services. So register for this program. If you are on my list, you will be getting a reminder email. I hope to see you on next week's webinar. What we're going to cover today are 3 separate topics. The first thing is, what is a cash trigger? The 3 common mistakes entrepreneurs make when trying to generate cash, and the best short-term cash triggers to apply to generate sales within 30 days and stabilize cash flow. And why I'm talking about this topic is many entrepreneurs and small business owners experience the feast or famine syndrome in their business when it comes to cash flow and having enough money, creating consistent cash flow. Not having enough money leaves many entrepreneurs feeling they don't have enough money, and they wonder how they're going to pay their bills at the end of the month. This is far too common and a very typical thing that happens in the life of many entrepreneurs. So if this is ever you, and I think every entrepreneur feels this at least occasionally, and especially in the beginning as their business is starting to grow, they're thinking about cash flow and they're worrying about it. And that's why I would like to address this topic. Now, there are many reasons that there could be issues with cash flow, and I'll just go over a few of them. The first thing is, many small business owners and entrepreneurs, they really don't look at their money. They don't pay enough attention, they don't understand, or they underestimate how much money they really need to survive, as well as to sustain running their business month to month. So this in itself causes anxiety. The second problem is, many small business owners are really good at bringing money in, but they don't pay enough attention or control how much money is flowing out of their business. They're good at bringing money in, but they're not controlling how much money goes out. And this creates a problem and a situation where there's not enough cash. Or the other thing is, they just can't seem to get enough money flowing into their business. There are many reasons that may cause this to happen, that may cause slow growth in sales. One reason certainly could be a lack of confidence in selling. And the reason that I'm addressing today is they just may be unaware of what their unique cash triggers are that will work best for them in creating revenue and sales in their business. Now, not having enough cash in our business, of course, is a big problem because someone may need getting help in their business. Maybe they don't know what they're doing wrong. They need to hire help, but they can't afford to get help. And it really sets up a cycle that's not a good place to be in for an entrepreneur who needs help. They can't figure it out on their own, yet they don't have money to hire help. I'm hoping that this presentation today will give you some ideas and some insight and actual things that you can do to help turn that around and start generating cash more quickly in your business. And when you do this, an entrepreneur, once they understand their cash flow triggers and the cash flow cycle, they can better regulate the ups and downs in their business. The ups are going to be great, and the downs won't be as anxiety provoking because they will know what to do. So they'll no longer be on that cash flow roller coaster, and the sky really will be the limit as far as having the ability to create revenues and cash flow in your business. Knowing your cash triggers helps your business in three big ways. It takes you from being reactive to a lack of sales to being proactive in creating sales. It also gives you the tools to generate cash on demand when you want to create it in your business. And third, it creates consistency so you have a strong business day to day because you do have sufficient cash flowing into your business. So what is a cash trigger? A cash trigger is simply an action you take to create revenue. There are many different actions you can take to stimulate the creation of revenue in your business. Some of the methods or the tactics work fast, say in 30 days or less, and others take longer to generate cash flow. They are long-term cash flow creation strategies, and I really don't refer to those as triggers. Triggers are to me something that you use to create cash on hand. They generate sales and cash flow in 30 days or less. So you can see it's extremely valuable to know what the best cash trigger tools are. There's so many different marketing tactics that you can use in your business. Ones that you may be familiar with are noted in the word collage I've created for you, which certainly is not an all-inclusive list of all marketing tactics and cash flow triggers. But looking at this small list, which ones do you choose? Which are the best ones to create cash flow the fastest for you? And I'll share what my top 5 are later on in this presentation. Before I do that, let's talk about the 3 common mistakes entrepreneurs make when trying to generate cash. The first mistake is they're choosing to use cash triggers that take a long time to create sales. As you already saw, there are lots of tools in the cash trigger tool bag. There are things that work quickly and some things that don't. When you're in a cash crisis, you don't want to spend time doing long-term cash flow triggers, or they're not even triggers, they're marketing tactics that will take, say, 3, 6, 9 months or a year or even longer to generate cash and get new clients. These tactics are not your number one priority. And this is a huge mistake that many people make, where they invest time doing marketing activities that are long-term, that will yield long-term results. The result is, the truth is, they need cash flow, yet they're not getting it because they're doing activities that just won't create cash in the short term. For example, social media is a long-term tactic. So if you need cash and you're spending a lot of time on social media, whatever, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is, this is probably not the best way to spend your time. Rather, be on social media to build relationship. It's not meant to generate new business today. It just doesn't work that way. Rather, it's a place to expand your reach, build your visibility, demonstrate your expertise, be seen as an expert. It helps to open other doors, develop new partnerships, and grow other parts of your business. The first couple years after I relaunched my business in 2012, I literally did no social media except for a few posts here and there. It's only now this year that I'm beginning to reassert my efforts to building my platform and social media presence in my business. The previous 2 years, I pretty much ignored it. I built my sales, my client base through the tactics that I will share with you today. If I were in a cash crunch, I can tell you I would not be paying any attention to social media right now. Rather, I would be focusing on activities that will generate cash in 30 to 60 days and not on activities that take 6, 9, 12 months or longer to generate a customer. When looking at cash triggers, have a discerning eye and ask, will this activity I'm planning on doing generate cash today? Is this marketing activity I'm planning on doing going to generate cash today, in a week, or in a year? When you need cash, you want to be focusing on those tactics, those triggers that will work very quickly for you. The second mistake is an entrepreneur chooses to do cash triggers that are too advanced for the stage of business growth they're in. There are natural stages that a business goes through in its cycle of growth. And depending on what stage of business growth you're in, that will determine what cash trigger tactics you will use to generate revenue and cash flow. A mistake many small business owners make is they're trying to implement cash triggers that are too advanced or too far beyond their current growth stage of business. And here's what I mean by that. Say a business is in the startup stage. Until they've created some consistent cash flow, generally speaking, they should not be focusing on doing online launches. The reason is because doing online launches takes a lot of technology and expertise to use the technical tools as well as financial resources to get them in place. And it takes a long time as well to get these things in place. Plus, an entrepreneur needs a contact list large enough to generate enough sales for the time, effort, and money invested in doing all the launch activities. And I see people all the time where I might meet them, say at a networking event, or maybe they're a new client or a soon to be new client, expressing frustration because no one signs up for their teleseminars or buys their stuff with their online launches, their online marketing. And when I ask them how many people are on their contact list, many of them, in fact, most of them, have said, I have 200 or 300 people. Well, if you do the math, and if 1% of your list statistically buys when an online offer is made, a list size of 200 generates sales of $0. So that is why this is too advanced of a strategy. Rather, an entrepreneur who needs cash really needs to focus on those methods that will put them in direct contact with their potential clients. And I'll share my top 5 tactics with you in a few moments. The third mistake is an entrepreneur is trying to implement too many cash flow triggers or tactics instead of focusing on a few that work really well. This is another mistake I see all the time. A business owner is trying to do, say, 10 or 12 different marketing activities to generate sales. And so often when I ask them how well they're all working, they reply, well, they're not working so well, which is when I say, well, if they're not working, why waste your time doing them? It's not the best thing to spread yourself so thin that you're doing a lot in your business. You're busy in action, but you're not getting results, or you're just not able to do everything as well because you're just spread so thin. And it's not your fault you may be doing this because there's a lot of messaging out there that we need to be doing all these different things to market and grow our business. And we think we need to be doing them, and we see other people having success. So we're trying to do it all. And this is exactly the opposite of what we need to do. We need to be focusing on 1 or 2, maybe 3 things that have been proven to work really well for us, and we need to go deep with those 1, 2, or 3 tactics. And by doing that, we'll be less frustrated, less tired, less overwhelmed. This is a case for simplifying, doing less, and getting better results by going deeper. Let's now talk about the best short-term cash triggers to apply to generate sales within 30 days and stabilize your cash flow. And I actually have a few things I'd like you to think about before we get into what those actual cash triggers are. And the first thing is, what do you do well? When we're talking about marketing tactics, what has worked really well for you in the past in getting clients? Has it been meeting people face to face? Has it been perhaps having preview events or having people visit you in your home or another place for some sort of event? What has it been that has helped you get clients, and what do you do very, very well? What are you comfortable doing? The next thing is thinking about what has worked in the past. So not only what do you do well, but what has worked in helping you to bring clients through the door. So often we try to add more, do more, and we forget about those things that have been proven to work. And by, again, focusing on doing too many marketing activities, that's how we dilute our efforts. So what has worked really well for you in the past? The third thing to consider is what marketing activities have you enjoyed doing? And the fourth thing is, what do you feel confident doing? Because if you feel confident doing an activity, you're more apt to be more successful in using that to get more clients flowing into your business. So just take a moment and think about these things. What are you really good at? What's worked in the past? What do you enjoy doing? And what do you feel very confident doing? There are two key points that I'd like you to keep in mind. And the first one is find the path of least resistance. What I mean by this is not having to work through a mental block around this or that or other marketing techniques if you can. As much as you can, the cash triggers that will work best for you are those you feel comfortable doing. The key is when you're comfortable, you're confident. And when you're confident, you can sell. Do what you can do well. And if you can't do it well, then try not to do it because it will be a waste of time, energy, and money in your business. A second thing to keep in mind is it's better to go deep on one or two tactics that work best for you rather than trying to do 10 at the same time and getting mediocre results and driving yourself to exhaustion. Think of it this way. You must master at least one form of marketing in your business. This is so, so key. Master at least one form of marketing. So ask yourself, which one do you want to focus on first? What is that one best thing you can do? You want to be doing short-term cash triggers that you're comfortable doing in your business. And you want to add more cash flow triggers as your business is working and you're generating cash flow, your business is becoming fine-tuned, and then you'll be better positioned to grow and explode growth of your business. Now I'm going to share with you my top 5 fastest acting short-term cash flow triggers. And the first one is personal communications. And what I mean by this is actually getting into personal live communications with real people. You're having voice to voice conversations and contact, or face to face conversations and contact. You can meeting a person live at a coffee shop, calling someone on the telephone, or even having video calls counts. This is the number one cash trigger, and by that I mean it is the fastest and the best, and it really has worked the best for me in my business as well as my clients. So what this means is it's not email marketing, it's not passing out brochures, advertising, or doing any social media. You've got to talk to real live people who are part of your target audience. So you really need to go where your people are to meet them. And how you do this is by attending events. My second trigger is asking current clients for more business. Go back to your current clients and ask them how else can you help them. If you see that they need help in a particular area of their business, perhaps suggest a VIP intensive or some other training program that you have going on. This is a strategy that I use all the time in my business, and your clients are very appreciative of this because you're reaching out to help them and you'll help them grow and move forward faster. You can also go back to past clients who may not be currently active with you and invite them into a program through a face-to-face conversation, telephone, video call, whatever. The next thing that you can do is host your own live event. And I'm not talking about a 200-person live event. I'm talking about something smaller, such as a seminar for, say, 10 people, 20 people. It could be a salon discussion group, a soiree, a party, a client appreciation event, a thank you event. Whatever it is, think smaller. Because if you're going to generate cash in 30 days, what we're not talking about is a multi-million dollar launch or $100,000 launch. We're talking about getting that next one or two clients or filling that next small group. The next top 5 short-term cash trigger is networking in groups that are rich with your ideal clients, and then, of course, inviting them into a conversation with you. The 5th one is attending local seminars, conferences, and events that others are putting on who also where your ideal clients and your target market will be attending. These are my top 5 fastest acting short-term cash triggers that have helped me create cash on demand, and they can happen, they can work for you very, very quickly. Just this past August, I decided I wanted to create a burst of cash in my business. So I created a 1-day mastermind intensive meant for a small group of people. I invited people, got some yeses very quickly, and filled that program within a week and a half. Within a week and a half of sending out my first communication and making that first contact and filling all 5 spots in that program, it took me a week and a half. So these things really do work. It was personal communication, people who were already current clients or people who had expressed wanting to work with me, but we just hadn't gotten that far yet. And I hosted my own live event. It was a 1-day intensive, and that's how I filled that program. We talked a little bit about salons and hosting your own event, so I just wanted to let you know that I am being interviewed by Leslie Hassler in her Blast of Cash webinar series event, and my topic is how to host an intimate salon event to nurture relationships and create cash. This has been a fabulous strategy for me to deepen relationship with existing clients as well as potential clients. I invite them, and that is an opportunity for them to get to know me better. And it has worked to, of course, get clients very quickly and have people say yes to working with me. So if you'd like to know more about that event, keep your eyes open. I will be sending an email out Friday with another opportunity to sign up for this webinar series put on by Leslie Hassler. These webinar interviews take place next week, so you will want to register right away so you don't miss any. Let's now talk about how to use cash triggers to stabilize your cash flow. So I'd like to ask you to think about a time when you enrolled new clients with ease. What did you do? What steps did you take? How did you get those clients to say yes to working with you? Then what I'd like you to do is write down 1 to 2 cash triggers, those things that you do really well, that you enjoy doing, they've worked for you in the past, and you feel confident doing them. What are those 1 or 2 cash triggers that you can use in your business to help you get more clients quickly? And then write down the steps you took to get a new client. And by this, I mean your process. What is that process that you use? And the reason you want to do this is so that you can repeat this process because it's been proven to work. And you don't have to think every time you want to create cash on demand, you don't have to rethink, okay, how did I do that? And that sometimes stops us from taking action, just having to think that through. So make it really easy on yourself and write down this repeatable process that works. And this is what it might look like. Recording your process, you choose your best personal cash trigger, which in this example is a personal invitation. It could be through telephone or a face-to-face meeting. Then think about your list of contacts. Think about current clients. Think about past clients and create a list of people to invite into a potential program. Determine what that program is, whether it be private coaching or a training program, a workshop, or some sort of VIP intensive or a retreat, a mastermind, whatever it is. Then write the invitation letter or the sales page. Also, I have a note here, record and keep track of a copy that worked really well for you so that you can go back to it and use it again and tweak it for your next offer. Call people to tell them about the program and invite them to participate. If they're interested, then send them the complete program details and invitation letter or the link to the sales page. What I never do is I don't contact people by phone or by email if it's someone I know well and already attach the program details because that just seems too pushy to me. I'd rather see if they're interested, and then if they are, then I send them the program details. It's getting a little yes, and it's having more contact with them because you'll be communicating with them more often than rather than trying to give them everything in one email. You're getting those little yeses along the way. You send them the invitation letter, and then many will get back to you and say, yes, I'm interested. I want to find out more and talk with you about it. But many people won't. They won't follow up with you right away. So you'll have to follow up by phone or email. Typically, if you have no response within 1 week, you don't have to wait 7 days, typically within 3 to 4 days, especially if I have a limiter of the number of seats. I'm following up with people. As I'm filling seats, I'm letting them know I have 2 seats left. Do you want to talk? And then, of course, deliver your enrollment conversations and enroll new clients into your program. So record your process that you use down to the copy and the scripts that you use for your emails and your telephone communication. So I'd like to leave you with a call to action that you can take to get the most out of what I covered today and get it working for you and helping you create cash flow and get new clients within 30 days. The first thing is identify those 1 or 2 best cash triggers that work for you. The second thing is decide on a doable 30-day goal that you want to create for yourself in terms of the number of clients or client and the amount of revenue that you would like to generate. Make it doable, make it achievable. And the third is to implement your proven process, that proven process that we just spoke about. What is that process that you used? And then go do it and get some new clients and generate some new cash flow in your business. By taking these steps, you'll be on your way to creating more consistent cash flow as well as stabilizing cash flow in your business. Thank you very much for attending this complimentary webinar with me today. Let me know how you liked it and what you learned by emailing me at bonita@bonitarichter.com. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Goodbye.